Hello, guys, and welcome to Season 2 of the Penny Podcast. I'm Andrés, I'm in 12th grade, and I am the Coppell Student Media Web Producer.
And I'm Clements, I'm in 12th grade, and I'm the Executive Editorial Page Editor.
If this is your first time tuning in, the Penny Podcast is a weekly podcast that incorporates interview, conversational, and communal elements.
This week, our CSM highlight goes to Parampottil for our article titled Rise and Shine, Cross-Country Runners Defy Summer Norms with Early Morning Practice, published under our sports section. I'll recite a piece from her article. As school begins and many high schoolers begin to grumble about having to wake up early, a select group from Coppell High School is unaffected. The Coppell cross-country team, which trains every morning year-round, is used to the timings.
You know, I always see the cross-country team running in the morning, so I'll give them huge props for that. This week on One Shot, FKA Twigs is set to release her second studio record, Magdalene, this fall through Young Turks. It is a much-anticipated follow-up to her stunning debut record, LP1. Judging by her newest single, Cellophane, it appears as if Twigs will once again floor the audience with her emotional, complex style. Now, on to the main show. Please tell us your name, your grade, and your favorite color.
My name is Hanna Einemo. I'm in 12th grade, and my favorite color is blue.
Awesome.
So, Hannah, how's your school year been going so far?
The school year has been going really good. It's exciting because senior year, it's been a lot of college tours, a bunch of trying to see what fits best for me, in terms of majors and stuff. So it's been really exciting, and I've really enjoyed it so far.
We heard from fellow staff members that you're really interested in all things aviation. Explain what the word aviation means to you.
Aviation to me means it can be anything from being a pilot, air traffic control, or anything ground ops, but ultimately it's just a community of people who love aviation, and it just really brings people together, and I really enjoy that about it.
So, for how long have you been interested in the field?
I've been interested in aviation for about 2 years now, since I was 15.
What is a private pilot's license and how do you obtain one?
A private pilot's license is basically the first license to be able to fly. So just like your driver's license, that allows you to drive. So private pilot's license, kind of like the driver's license of the sky. So that allows me to go flying on a good day, take up a couple friends, and just do the basic maneuvers and flying, all that kind of stuff. And to obtain one, you have to go through a series of tests, such as the written test, and then a private pilot check ride, and then also as well as acquiring a bunch of hours to get your license.
Are those tests considered hard?
I would say flying is definitely the easy part for me. I would say knowing all the stuff on the ground is definitely the hardest part. Just going through all of the mechanical parts and all the instruments of the aircraft is definitely, it's hard to remember, but it's really rewarding in the end to get your license.
So terminology, right, is involved?
Definitely. Terminology, aerodynamics, and all that good stuff.
Ooh, I don't know any of that.
So, are you in any aviation organizations, and if so, how do they help young women who are interested in aviation?
I'm involved in a group called the 99s and Women in Aviation, the North Texas chapter. Both of them strive to get more women in aviation together and just come as a community, because right now currently it's only about 5 to 6% of women in aviation. So it's good groups because it brings us together, and it's nice to see other women involved as well and have similar interests, and it's really fun, and I really enjoy going to the meetings and events that we do.
Do you ever feel as if flying is an acquired taste?
I think it definitely is, because I've taken up people who definitely didn't enjoy it, and then otherwise there'd be other people who'd be take me up again, or they'll be I want to start flying too, this is so inspiring, thank you for taking me up. So it's definitely an acquired taste, but you definitely see it when you take off, and you can definitely see the reaction first thing. So
do you get nervous?
I don't really get nervous personally.
Wow, no, I don't mess with heights. What was it that made you start?
Well, at first I was never actually interested in aviation. My dad's a captain at Southwest. I grew up seeing only girls as flight attendants in the galleys. I've never seen them up in front of the cockpit, so I never really thought about it until I think it was about 2.5 years ago. My dad suggested I do Discovery Flight, and ever since that Discovery Flight, I've been hooked on it, and that's all I wanted to do since then.
What does your dad think about you wanting to go into aviation and such?
He loves it. He loves seeing other women in aviation. He always tells me, "Hey, I flew with a girl pilot today," and he loves seeing his daughter have similar interest. And he always wants to see me do my best. And he's always furthered me in my career. So I couldn't have done it without him.
So what does your future in aviation look like?
My future right now is just working to get my licenses. So I just got my private this May. And I'm going on to my instrument, and then my commercial, and then eventually my CFI when I'm 18. And then hopefully from there I'll work my way up to get to my ultimate goal, which is Southwest Airlines.
Awesome. And why Southwest Airlines? Is it because of your dad as well, or is there a deeper reasoning?
Yeah, it's because of my dad, but also I feel like Southwest Airlines is such a big family. They're so welcoming, and I love the people that work there.
What would you say to a CHS student who is interested in joining the field?
I would say that I would tell them, first of all, that it's not easy. It's a lot of studying. It's basically just like going to a second school at the same time. It takes a lot of dedication and hard work, but it's very rewarding just to go up and fly and see everything below you and take up people when you get your license. So ultimately, if you enjoy it, I would say definitely go for it, but just know they have to be dedicated to a lot of work as well.
What's your favorite experience thus far, up in the air?
My favorite experience was probably the first flight after I got my license, was to be able to take off with my instructor in the back seat this time, not in the front with me. So it was pretty funny, but it was awesome to see her in the back for once and my friend in the front too. So it was also a great feeling after just getting your license too, after all the hard work.
I don't even have my driver's license. Okay. Thanks to my host, Claire. Special thanks to our guest, Hanna. Thank you all for joining us in the 19th episode of the Penny Podcast. Links to the topics we mentioned today can be found below. And see you next week. Thank you. Awesome.